How y'all doing? My name's Nick. Welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. Tonight we're going to be breaking down the fight between Efe Ajagba and Stephan Shaw. Efe Ajagba is 28 years old. He's 16 and 1 with 13 knockouts. He weighed in at 236 and a half, and he's 6'6". Stephan Shaw is 30 years old, 18 and 0, 13 knockouts, 6'4", 239 and a half. So as you can see, pretty even in size. Although Shaw's got 3 pounds on him at the weight with the weight advantage, but make no mistake about it, Efe Ajagba is definitely the bigger guy with the bigger punch. Just to start with Efe Ajagba, looking at his resume here, he's got a few decent wins. He's got the biggest win of his career has definitely got to be that Ali Demirizin win. He beat him a couple of years ago, and Demirizin just put himself on the map by beating Adam Konaki. Maybe a shot Adam Konaki. God knows what happened to him in the last couple of years, but maybe wasn't that good to begin with. But definitely a big win for him. So it definitely catapults Efe Ajagba's record when Demirizin gets a win like that. Beat Jonathan Rice, who Jonathan Rice will be in the co-main event fighting Guido Vanella. He's actually a favorite in that fight, which I don't really understand. I think Guido Vanella wins that fight. But Jonathan Rice had those two big wins. I think they were both last year against Michael Kofi there, where he beat him twice and beat him handily twice. But Kofi I didn't rate that high either. I mean, he got a late start to boxing. He's a former Marine, just a big tough guy, but definitely didn't have the boxing skills to be a touted prospect like they were trying to. They were trying to prop him up a little too much. But the other one he's got is Amir Mansour. Amir Mansour, just to get a name on there, Amir Mansour, very heavy-handed, short little dude, but kind of like a David Tua style. David Tua 2.0, I used to call him when I first saw him coming up. But Mansour, just like Ajagba, to be honest, like I don't like those fighters that rely on their big punches this young in their career. To me, Ajagba hasn't shown the boxing ability. Like I would rather see this guy. Look, knockouts are great, and knockouts are what sell tickets and everything. But when you get into, if you want to be a top 10, top 15 heavyweight, I believe you got to have better boxing skill than Efe Ajagba. I think that right hand's only going to carry you so long unless you're Deontay Wilder. You got to be more fluent with your punches at some point in your career. I should just be seeing you win 10 round decisions all day instead of these second round and third round knockouts. I just don't think you learn anything from them that young in your career. I think you should have got more rounds in, and this is just the bias I have against this guy. Ever since he came up, I watched him knock guys out in the second round, knock guys out in the third round. It's all good, but as soon as they step up, I will pick against these guys every time. These big blocky heavyweights that are pretty much one dimensional. I just see him. I mean, now he's using his skills to his advantage, so he's getting the knockouts. He's definitely setting them up somehow, but it's just not against good opponents. So it's almost like Tank Davis said last week. He said, I only got to be good for 3 seconds. These guys got to be good for 36 minutes, and he's right. If you're a guy like Tank Davis, you have that fight IQ and everything. I just don't see it in Efe Ajagba. I think he gets by with that right hand and the big punching because he's fighting weaker opposition, and I don't think it'll carry over as soon as you step up, and especially fighting a style like Stephan Shaw's. I don't think it's good for him. I mean, I had a lot of money on Frank Sanchez when he fought Efe Ajagba, and that was the main reason, was just the styles didn't match up. And I don't think they match up here. So I'm going with Stephan Shaw here. I think he wins a unanimous decision. I have only seen Shaw fight one time live on TV, and that was against Joey Diwajeko. He beat him pretty good. Everyone looks good against Joey Diwajeko, but he looked very good. And when I saw his hand speed, I said, this guy is going to be dangerous. He's going to be dangerous for those for a lot of these new heavyweights that are coming up, like I said, the big kind of blocky guys, they're stiff. I know everybody says that about Ajagba, like he's stiff, but like I still see it and I just can't get past it. But I still can't get past the fact that Joe Joyce is a top heavyweight, because that's exactly what I said about him, and I'm dead wrong about Joe Joyce. There's just something about him. Even watching his fights now, I still don't understand how that guy's winning fights. But I will admit that I'm wrong about Joe Joyce. But it's my gut feeling when this fight got announced. Stephen Shaw's hands are going to be way too fast. The only thing I worry about, and like betting wise, it's a pretty close fight. It's I think Shaw's like minus 160, which I still think it's worth it to lay the wood there. But the only thing I worry about is he will be on his back foot all night, and I don't know much about his conditioning, but it's way more tiring to fight on your back foot all night, especially as a heavyweight. And I see Shaw winning a 10 round unanimous decision, 7-3, 8-2. I think it'll be. I think it'll be pretty clear cut. But the only thing I worry about is I do worry about a late round KO. I worry about an early round KO. Hey, if Ajagba does his thing, if this moment is too big for Shaw, this is his biggest fight of his life. If it's too big for him, Ajagba's going to catch him early. But I think Shaw is going to be very smart. He needs this win, and this is the win that's going to catapult his career. So I think he's going to be very smart. The only problem I might see is later rounds. I don't know his conditioning. I think he was training for a different fight in Guido Vanella, where I think he would have been coming forward more, and I think he would have had more confidence in his punching ability to knock Guido Vanella out. I think he would have knocked Guido Vanella out eventually. But you ain't doing that against Efe Ajagba, unless he catches Ajagba late and Ajagba tires. But that's the one thing I worry about is Shaw getting tired. He's going to be fighting off his back foot. Ajagba knows one way to fight, and that's come forward, throw the right hand. And it's a very tiring way to fight. Like I just said, Tank Davis said, you only got to be perfect for 3 seconds. And our guys got to be perfect for Shaw to be 30 minutes because it's a 10-round fight. You got to be perfect for 30 minutes, man. And if you're not, Efe Ajagba, I don't care if he's down by 6 rounds or whatever, he will knock you out in the later rounds if you're not fighting the same fight. Stephen Shaw needs to fight the same fight, the same way in the 9th round that he fights in the 1st round, and that's just quick 1-2s and out of there. He needs to make this a boring fight. I believe this will be a boring fight. I know it's two big prospect heavyweights, but I think though Stephen Shaw especially will get complacent because he just wants to win this fight. And Efe Ajagba's kind of the opposite, but I just think Ajagba, this is just going to be an annoying fight for him. Similar to the Frank Sanchez fight, I don't know if it'll be that dominant. I think the rounds will be a little closer, but I just don't see Ajagba winning rounds. I don't see how he wins rounds against a guy like Shaw unless Shaw is terrified of that right hand and he's backing up. Because at that time, Ajagba doesn't need to do much. If Shaw fights scared, he won't win rounds. But I definitely think Shaw just hands are too fast. I think he can get in, get out. I don't see him. He's not going to be putting like 3-4 punch combinations together because that's not a smart thing to do. Because eventually you're going to have to plant your foot on one of those punches, and as soon as you do, Ajagba will take 2 punches to give one. But Shaw needs to be out of there. But like I said, his conditioning's got to be on point, and he needs to kind of like dance around that ring, make it a boring fight. Hey, I'm gonna be there ringside, and I'll be cheering for the boring fight because hopefully it'll be winning me some money. So yeah, I got Stephen Shaw unanimous decision, possibly late KO just in case. I think the two best outcomes here, or the things that I think will most happen for the outcome wise, is Stephen Shaw by unanimous decision or Efe Ajagba by early round KO. But we'll see what happens. I think Shaw's going to stay pretty much perfect for 30 minutes. And I don't think he's going to get hit with maybe 1 or 2 clean punches, but I just see it being kind of an ugly fight. There could be a lot of tie-ups in this fight. I see Shaw 1-2, tie up, annoy Efe Ajagba. And that's what you got to do to win. And this is the biggest fight of your career, and I think Shaw pulls it off. Um, but let's see what happens. I love the fact that these two guys are fighting each other. You know, like that's first and foremost. I give a big shout out to Efe Ajagba and Stephan Shaw for taking this fight. At this point in his career, especially Efe Ajagba, I think he would have walked through Oscar Rivas. And to take this fight, I mean, it's a different opponent, it's a different skill set, and you just lost a year and a half or so ago. Stephan Shaw has not lost. If he loses, this fight's not going to shoot him down that much. They're going to say, oh, he took it on short notice. It was Efe Ajagba. Efe Ajagba's, pretty much coming off a loss. He had one fight since against some guy like 13-4 that he knocked out pretty bad. But like I said, those knockouts just aren't going to work at this level. I think this is the level, this is the borderline level where that walk down and knock you out with the right hand stuff ain't going to work. So that's how I see this fight going. Like I said, Stephan Shaw, unanimous decision, biggest win of his career, and props him up for big things to happen in the future. And we'll see where the heavyweight division goes from here because I think Stephan Shaw could be definitely in the top 10 within the next year or so. At least the top 15, probably in the top 15 after this fight. But I think Steve Shaw could give a lot of those big heavyweights problems with his quick hands. That's just a gut feeling I have on him. I haven't seen too much of him, but I see his fast hands, and I like him against these big blocky heavyweights, especially against the Efe Ajagba. So that's the way I'm going. You guys enjoy the fights. ESPN, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks.